Hello, let me. Hi. Okay, the ring light is not playing along with the book. Okay, there you go. Hello. Have you read it? How are you? How's this lighting? That looks nice. Yeah, I think that's good. Hello, how are you? Can you hear me? Happy Friday! How are you guys? Hey, Nikki. Did you read this? Like, guys, this book is old. 2009. I bought it, I think. Yeah, it was published in 2009. Sure. Yeah, and I read it in August. And August of the same year. Yo, guys, I used to read books so quickly. Sure, I read it in August. Okay, maybe not so quickly, but yeah, a book a month. Okay, so the only books I've read, Zaha, Angela, are The 30th Candle, and The Blessed Girl. So I have read Ink. I have read Ink, and this I got at the secondhand bookstore last year. Yeah, so I need to read this, and apparently this is the old cover, but yeah, I think there's a latest cover, so I'll read that one day. And then yeah, Nikki says yes. When I turn 30, yes, 2009. I don't even remember. Like, I'm 35 now, but anyway. So I read this book and I was like, yo, what's thinking? Go Gauteng go monate. So yes, that's, I think around 2009. That's the time when I started visiting Joburg, and I was like, ooh, I wanna live in Joburg. I really related to the story when I read it, and that was before I even thought about moving here. And I thought, yo, these ladies so relatable, you know. Okay, I will read Red Ink. I should, ne? If Red Ink, isn't it the one it's Hosang? Or is that Black Widow Society? So, whew, anyway, happy Friday, guys. I decided to read this because it's one of my favorite books from Angela. And yeah, I wanted to revisit it because I read it on the 15th of August 2009. Yo, it even kept me awake because I even wrote 08 2009 AMs. So yeah, that's how I used to read. I think I still do though. I liked how every chapter was based on the four characters and their story and all the secrets and stuff. And I loved the friendship. But the fact that there were secrets and there were skeletons. Ooh, Widow Society is a bit scary. Wabona. Hi, nakathaba. Like even now, this just a few minutes ago, I saw on the timeline, because I try to minimize my time on Twitter, so I only retweet and I share and stuff, and then I will log off. So I saw a new tweet about like a new series coming on Netflix, a South African thriller. Yo, it's called 8. So like, no, I like, yeah, it gave me anxiety just watching it. I'm gonna read the back of the book, and then I'm gonna read so I'm gonna read the back of the book because it's now 17:05, and then at past I will stop, and then it is 1:00. Hey, Friday, guys. That's what I'm reading. Guys, look at my cover. I don't know what I was doing that day in 2009, but yeah, zhuang zhuang. Yeah, what? Yeah, it's not nice. But this is a very old book, and it opens with a lot of age quotes. But I'll read the back, and then I'll read the quotes, and then I'll start. Hi, Simole. Okay, who is this guy? You said he's not married, so if you're knocked up, you have to tell who he is, Linda insisted. 30th birthdays loom. Skeletons come creeping out of closets. How will this birthday end? Linda has just cast off yet another lover, while Dikeledi can't seem to pin her fast-talking lawyer down to talk about marriage. Nolwazi has a secret, one she can't share even with her closest friends, while Sade has found the perfect man and a new life that will shut out the horrors of her past forever. Or will it? Linda, Dikeledi, Nolwazi, and Sade are about to discover more with the wisdom that comes with being a year older. After all, they're young, gifted, and black in a booming new South Africa. Yeah, author of the popular thriller Red Ink, Angela Makholwa turns her humor and skill for page-turning suspense to the escapades and sexual misadventures of modern women as they search for happiness and hope for love. So yeah, I like what Zuki Savaner says. Is that how I need to ask Zuki if that's how I say her surname? Do you actually say it as Vanner? Because I actually read it as like, like Vanner. Yeah. Anyway, Zuki Swa. Zuki says, with her new page turner, Angela Makholwa encourages her readers to stay awake until the early hours, engaging with characters who are both familiar enough to make one laugh out loud and serious enough to leave one pondering long after the last page. Yeah. So I will start with okay, this book is dedicated to everyone over 25. Remember, act your age, not your shoe size. Hi, Bookaholic Queen. How are you? Hello. Have any of you guys read it? I know Nikki said she read it. Let me see. Hi, Miss Weiner. Hey, girl. My lighting today is like weird. Hi, Kitlosa Buka. Anyway, no bad lighting formed against me shall prosper. Give Friday. Go no wine after this. Happy Friday, guys. Okay, let me read. Oh, you have read it. Great. I love it. Okay, chapter 1. This is Linda's version of things. Linda, who is this? I can't believe what I'm seeing, gasped Lihumo. Transfixed at the door, his light complexion ripened to red. His hands shook and his mouth trembled as if he were suddenly stuck in below freezing temperatures. At that moment, his giant frame did nothing to make him look any less vulnerable. Linda just looked at him, then at the half-naked man lying next to her in bed. She cast her eyes down for a split second. Man, ke kopa go dira yana. A ke bone lighting e le nice. Okay, I don't know. Le tla ba strong. Okay. She cast her eyes down for a split second, perhaps feigning a modicum of remorse for the mortifying scene that she and her lover had set out for Lihumo to stumble upon. For an eternity, they all froze in their positions. Lihumo planted firmly at the door, holding his mobile phone as if it were a gun that was about to go off. The stranger, half lying in bed next to Linda, shame-faced and trapped, as helpless as a little rabbit, and the Jezebel herself, now sitting upright in a stoic position, as if refusing to plead guilty to any indiscretion. Bro, what are you doing with my fiancé? Aren't there enough women in Gauteng for you to be banging on other people's beds? A deathly silence. Then, well, technically speaking, this is not your bed, said Linda, her characteristic bluntness staying with her in this of all moments. Miss Wana says, I have a copy. Some millennium recommended it at the office, but I haven't read it. Some millennium. Please just read the book. It's really fun. I love it. Hey, Wena, I'm not even talking to you right now. You. Okay, said the stranger, an older man, holding out his hands in a conciliatory gesture. This is a very uncomfortable situation for all of us, but I think there's a way we can handle this without causing anyone any further pain. Lehumo took 3 giant strides towards the bed and hurled the man on his back by what little piece of clothing he still had on. Fuck you, asshole. Don't you dare try and act like the hero here. I find you in bed with my fiancé and you have the audacity to think you have a say in all of this. Take your stinking Vasco da Gama pants and your fucking Blackberry and get out of my face now. The stranger quickly grabbed his clothes, cast a last glance at Linda, then picked up his wallet, keys and phone and vanished from the room in a flash. As a parting shot, Lehumo spat the words, "You fucking pensioner." Slowly, he marched towards the bed like a wounded soldier. Now tell me, Linda, why? Why do you keep hurting me? What is it you want from me? Why is nothing ever enough for you? He pleaded, tears rolling down his face as he slumped his heavy frame next to her. Linda stayed seated, as still and as quiet as if she had turned to salt. Lehumo grabbed her by the white Woolworths vest he had bought her only the previous week. Talk to me, you witch. Don't you feel anything? Are you even human? He screamed in desperation, his big eyes bulging, searching her face hopefully for something, guilt, remorse, regret, anything. Linda shook him away from her and stood up, revealing that, other than the white vest, she was wearing absolutely nothing else. She walked up to her closet, took out her red satin gown, wrapped it around her curvaceous body, and said, "Listen, baby, I think you've had enough drama for one day. If the engagement is off, I fully understand. Trust me. But I've really had it." I mean, I'm absolutely knackered. This is too stressful for me. I need to sleep. I think some sleep would actually do you a lot of good as well. Lehumo gave her an incredulous look. Whatever happened to you? I once thought you were the perfect woman, he said quietly, as if to himself. She looked at him with pity in her eyes. Humo, I think that's the most valuable lesson you've learned today. You've always thought I was the perfect woman, but I never thought you were the perfect man, she said, calmly folding her hands as she went to sit next to him on the bed. There were tears in Lehumo's eyes again. Shaking his head in shock, he said, "But why did you lead me on like this? Why did you accept my proposal?" Now she was massaging his shoulders. Baby, I never accepted or rejected your proposal. You just forced me. Not literally forced me, but in that persuasive way of yours, where you force yourself to hear what you want to hear. You orchestrated this whole romance, the engagement, everything. I had no major role to play in this relationship. In fact, this is probably my one cameo appearance. What the hell are you talking about? Excuse me? But I don't believe I was having a relationship with myself all these months. You were always there and I never forced you into anything you didn't want. She sighed, shaking her head. Lehumo, if you just allow yourself to think back, I'm sure you'll see that the main actor here has always been you. It was always your friends' houses we went to. It was your colleagues I met with, and it was you, always you, who was making plans for the two of us. I was merely tagging along because I didn't have anything better to do. Yo. Well, thanks for making something I thought was a great relationship sound like a one-man show, featuring a prop called Linda, replied Lihumo. She looked at him and said, well, I probably deserve that, but I did try to explain my feelings. You just refused to hear me. He changed the topic, talk about something else. So what was I to do? I'm 29 years old, pushing 30. Everybody says 30 is the pits, especially if you're not in a stable relationship. So I just went along with it. But, she said dramatically, standing up as if to put ice on whatever warmth or empathy she had almost induced. That's not to say I never really felt anything for you, except maybe some kind of sibling-like kinship. You're just not my type, love. You're really not. Oh, and Grandpa in those ridiculous 18th century pajamas is? I can't believe you betrayed me with another man, and all you can give me are some pitiful acting analogies. There's no main actor and cameo appearance here. This is my life, and you've just ruined it. I don't care if you're turning 30 or 100. You've taken away my pride. Shit, couldn't you do this with someone at least younger or something? Suddenly, Linda looked angry for the first time since the drama had unfolded. The fact that this was the first time she showed any emotion about this situation did not escape Lihumo's attention. Lihumo, maybe you should start looking at things from another point of view, because I swear that would save you a lot of trouble, she said, trying to regain her composure. If you hadn't walked in on me like you did, it was probably going to be something else. Maybe not as awful as this, but the truth is, I think I was acting out. Sure. I've been very frustrated because I feel like I've been living a lie. Yeah, at least we agree on one thing. You're a whore. No, if I were in love with you, none of this would have been possible. It's just, I've been trying to let you know how I feel, but you've not been listening. Don't you see this was my cry for help? All of a sudden, I found myself wearing an engagement ring without remembering when exactly my heart said yes to you, if ever. I swear, sometimes I'd look at my finger and wish that ring would fall off. Lihumo shook his head disbelievingly. He could not bring himself to look at her. The past few weeks have been hell for me, she said. I've been having sleepless nights imagining myself trapped in some rambling house with 40 kids and you coming home smelling of beer with a giant pot belly. I just couldn't handle it. It was freaking me out. You honestly think being married to me would be that pathetic? He asked, still in shock. It was as if he were talking to a stranger. Linda looked like she was mulling over the question. Slowly, eyes downcast, she nodded. Well, then I guess I made a big mistake, he said, standing up. I should have listened when people told me not to date Xhosa women. Nothing but a bunch of bitches. One thing's for sure, I'm never doing that again. Lihumo took his keys, his wallet, and his Nokia phone and left. He hoped never to see Linda Mtimkulu's face again, and Linda hoped he would not hold her actions against her entire tribe. Did he have to make that comment about Xhosa women? Guys, like Linda ha khathalishem. Hey, but cameo appearance. Miss Wina, imagine you. That's what I love about Makholwa's books. She throws you in the midst of a thick plot from page. Like, she held my attention from this page up until the last page. At AM back in the day, 2009, when I read this book, when I Bookaholic Queen. Yo, you can't put a book down after the first page. No foreplay, just pagat inside drama. Oh gosh, there's still time, so I'm gonna continue reading the chapter 2, which is Nolwazi's version of things. It's actually quite short, so I hope by past I'll be done. Then it's 1:00. Hello sis, how are you? Nolwazi looked at her watch. 11:45. Great. This is perfect, she thought, her skinny legs struggling to keep up with the urgent business at hand. I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired, she chanted mentally. This was the third time she was late meeting the most demanding, most difficult, beachiest client. Her client's name was Aldo Mabuza. You know what I also like about everything that, like all her books, she's so descriptive. She even like mentions the brand names, you know, like the Blackberry. And I mean, got 2009, Blackberry was the in thing, right? So this guy just walked out and he stomped out of this house and he's holding a Nokia phone, you know, like she's so descriptive about everything, brand names. You feel like you are in the drama, you know. Spicy. I actually wanna be intentional about reading the old books, so that you guys can get an idea of all the current ones and the writers, the author's journey from back then to where they are now. And with this one, the 30th Candle, I actually see that style of writing in The Blessed Girl. I don't know if any of you guys have read The Blessed Girl, but yes, this like women-centered novel is like it, you know. Yes guys, women-centered is the word, not chick lit, please. Yeah, thank you. So Nolwazi is late and she's meeting a very difficult client. Her client's name was Aldo Mabuza. She owned a mining company, 3 butcheries in the township, and was on her way to buying a stake in an advertising agency. Everybody knew that this was Aldo's big night, and the company that Nolwazi worked for, the Style Surgeons, was responsible for dressing Aldo Mabuza and other hotshot businesswomen and high-profile personalities. Aldo did not like to be kept waiting, and Nolwazi had kept her waiting not just once, but more than 5 minutes. At least that's the score that Aldo kept in her mental calculator. As Nolwazi passed the security guard, she pleaded with him to allow her entry without signing in. Sorry, sissy. Rules are rules, said the smiling security guard. Hey, my security guard. Hello. Nolwazi felt like punching the smile right off his face. Why is it that she had not been born with the gift of punctuality? What did others do with their clocks that she was not doing? Which mysterious lanes did they drive in that she had yet to discover? Why? Why did she choose a career involving egotists and bitches? In a month, she would be turning 30. Wasn't she supposed to be doing something better with her life? Saving the world, maybe? Her despairing thoughts had brought her to the 6th floor with the three outfits designed specifically for Aldo by none other than Efri Mudibe, safely tucked under her arms. Efri, the head designer at the Style Surgeons, had perfected the art of dodging difficult clients while still managing to make them feel that they were the very center of his universe. Humph. That's one skill I would love to master, thought Nolwazi. Though deep down she knew that it would take decades for her to be nearly as good as Efri at anything. Being good enough to dodge difficult clients without raising an eyebrow was an art form in itself. She entered the reception of Aldo's stylish office. Ornate gold everywhere and high ceilings with 2 slightly over-the-top chandeliers, which instantly gave the feeling of a classy hotel environment instead of an office, welcomed visitors to Aldo Empowerment Holdings, the name emblazoned in gold on the antique oak reception desk. Aldo's receptionist looked Nolwazi up and down, her eyes settling on her slightly scuffed shoes. The receptionist, known only as Ivy, was as poisonous as her name. Nolwazi dreaded these visits as they literally had her trembling with fear. Nolwazi could tell that Poison Ivy enjoyed the torment. The fact that she was related to Aldo Mabuza clearly spared her from some of Aldo's outbursts, but it seemed she could never get enough of seeing them inflicted upon lesser mortals. With one of her long red talons, she pointed at a gleaming maroon leather couch in the reception area. "There," she commanded with a cat-like tone. "I'm sure Miss Mabuza has been anxiously waiting for these. I'll just leave them here quietly so she can have ample time to try them on," said Nolwazi, hoping for a quick escape. As she turned towards the lift, she heard, "Not so fast." What? She asked. "I'm not going to be stuck with the dirty job of explaining why those garments got here late, Missy. Mabuza is a very busy woman. She had set aside 11:30 till 12:30 for the fittings. She's got a very hectic schedule that includes accessories, hair and makeup to make sure everything blends together. You've ruined her day. She has a meeting with the president at 9 o'clock. Oh, at 1 o'clock. How on earth do you expect her to explain to the president of this country that she was made late by some boutique secretary? Nolwazi wished she could yank all the horsehair off this cold-hearted minx's head. She drew a quick breath, slowly walked towards the reception desk and said, "All right then, Ivy. Can you call Miss Mabuza out so I can explain to her why I'm late?" "My pleasure," said Ivy with a big smile. Her mind working in overdrive, Nolwazi remembered that Aldo despised Lerato Molefe, another fiery businesswoman who was going to the same function. She recalled how her colleague and fellow battle warrior, Tsepang, had said that Miss Molefe's garment, which she had chosen weeks before, had been set on fire by Miss Molefe's unruly 10-year-old son, along with the wig that Miss Molefe was to wear to the event. This had meant that Miss Molefe was detained at her studio for half the day, trying to find something suitable to wear on her head and ample body. Surely sharing this piece of news would add some shine to Aldo's day. Suddenly, Aldo appeared, as if she had vaporized from nowhere. "Well, I hope that the stupid grin on your face is not a sign of satisfaction for all the failures you've managed to accomplish in your miserable short life so far, miss." No, ma'am. I apologize profusely for the delay with your garments. We had a huge crisis in the office because Miss Molefe, of African Merchants Mining, her son burned her dress for the evening, and worse still, all of her wigs and accessories as well. So we were stuck all day trying to fix the disaster. Really? Said Aldo, enjoying a giggle. Did he burn everything, you mean, for tonight? Yes, shame. She's in quite a state. How are you going to find anything for her to wear? She does have a rather large frame. A bit of a big unit, don't you think? I'm sorry, I don't think it's my place to say, although it has been a bit of a struggle, Nolwazi conceded. Still enjoying a giggle, echoed obediently by Ivy, Aldo said, "Well, run along now. I'm sure you have your work cut out for you. Go. The giggles that Nolwazi left in her wake were enough to make one think David Gao was in the house. So that is Nolwazi. I feel like... Okay, I just remembered that they're 29. Anyway, Ibile, when you talk about women-centered, I'm reminded of an old sitcom on SABC called Girlfriends, starring Tracy Ellis. Yes, this book reminds me of them. Right? It does, it does remind me of Girlfriends. It's actually quite an nostalgia. I'm gonna read for 5 more minutes to introduce the gay lady, which is now the third friend. But I think I like Linda more. This is such a good book. I need to revisit it. 2009 is a long time ago, so maybe I will revisit it one day. The gay lady, hi Uncle Fred. The gay lady placed the phone back on the receiver and shivered involuntarily. Then, out of nowhere, tears washed over her face. Worried that her 5-year-old daughter would bear witness to this shameful display of emotion, she went to her bedroom, moved into her ensuite bathroom, turned the hot tap on, put in the plug, and poured herbal foam bath into the bath. She watched the bubbles foam contentedly as they responded to the warm running water. She perched herself on the edge of the bath, allowing the tears to run freely down her face. "Why am I crying?" she asked out loud. "My best friend is about to get married, and all I can manage is to cry. Am I really that pathetic?" She said to the empty bathroom. "Nkosi yam, I'm turning 30 in October, and I'm still stuck with the tag of single mother. I never wanted to be a single mother. Nobody in my family is a single mother. Why doesn't he propose?" She turned off the water, took off her black linen suit, carelessly tossing it on her bed, and slid into the bath. No matter how hard she tried to focus on the warmth of the bubble bath and the embracing scent of the herbal foam, all she could think of was how her best friend, Sade, had managed to bag an engagement ring after dating a man for 8 months, when she had been lugging along the same piece of baggage and garbage that she had unfortunately adored for no less than 10 years. 10 years. Yo, guys, they've been dating since she was, what, 19? Ooh, 19, innit? Yeah, 20, because they're 29. 10 years. It's a bloody lifetime. In those 12 years, she could have been married, had 2 kids, had a big fat joint mortgage on a plot somewhere, maybe with livestock. So Digereti is the one who's dating the lawyer who won't propose. And they've been, hi Jane, hi Anne, and they've been together for what, 12 years? Yo. She wanted to kill Tebogo. Why couldn't he commit? They'd met at varsity, and as far as she knew, all the varsity couples had either tied the knot or called it quits by now. Why were they still stuck in limbo? Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe he stopped loving me long ago. Next time I talk to that bastard, I'm gonna have it out with him, she murmured, as if the words came from another disconnected source. At that moment, her mobile phone rang. "Pemi, please bring my phone in here," she howled at the top of her voice. Less than a minute later, her adorable Pemelo was in the bathroom, phone in hand. "Here, Mommy, you interrupted me. I was playing with my doll." "Okay, sorry, love. Thanks. Go back to spoiling Palisa," she said, smiling. "Hello?" she breathed into the phone. "How's my favorite girl in the whole wide world?" asked Tebogo. "Oh, I thought Pamela was your favorite girl in the world," she replied, suddenly all smiles. In spite of herself, she could never resist him when he sounded even mildly affectionate. Yo, guys, the struggle. Hi, Ava. Well, you two will always be at the top of my list. You know that. Speaking of which, what are you guys doing next weekend? Nothing special. How would you two like to join me in Durban? Just us, sun, sea, and soccer? Ishwena, you're following Pirates cross country again. Okay, us girls will do sun and sea with you, but the soccer, brother, you're on your own. I'll have you know Pimelo does a mean header, so Wena, we'll leave you to lounge around in the hotel while we enjoy the Happy People's thrilling performance. I don't even know why they call Pirates Happy People. That club gets hammered every weekend. Baby, do you want me to drop the phone? Okay, sorry love, I'm only joking. Pimelo and I would love to join you next weekend. Looking forward to it. Love you, Nana. Love you too. Dikeledi put the phone down. Oh, I just love that man, she said aloud, merrily kicking splashes of water into the air. I mean, she's just been calling him a bastard a few, so that is Dikeledi. I'm going to read Sade, and then I've introduced all 4, and then that's it. If you haven't read the book, guys, it's really amazing. You must read it. Sade, this is now chapter 4. Sade looked at her reflection in the mirror once more before preparing to leave for her date with Winston. Winston, he was too good to be true. And to think he landed in her lap just like that at that dreary conference. What a blessing he turned out to be. the perfect man, principled, exciting, loving, and sensitive. God had truly listened to her prayers. She loved the fact that they were both born-again Christians and that they shared the same values through and through. She was glad that she had saved herself for him. Of course, technically speaking, she was no virgin, but surely not having sex for 2 years qualified for something. It was certainly the closest one got to virgin status in a city like Johannesburg. Yeah, like... Secretly, she could not wait for their wedding day. She and Winston had agreed to save the consummation of their union for the big day. Quite frankly, it was driving her crazy. She knew that she was doing the right thing according to her values and the vow that she had made to God. So that part made her feel immensely proud. But she was only human. She recalled the previous night when Winston sprang the proposal on her. She had never been happier. Everything about last night felt dreamlike, picture perfect, so wonderful. That's why they had decided to meet again tonight. They were both incredibly happy and could not get over the fact that they were both ready to take such a leap. If you believe in me, all good things shall come to you, says the Bible, and I say amen to that, she said, looking at the gorgeous diamond ring on her finger. Hey, Winston put a ring on it, guys. Re-virginated. Yes, Jane. Hi, Fiona. Amen to that, she said, looking at the gorgeous diamond ring on her finger. She could not wait to tell the other girls in her church cell group. Her mom had been ecstatic. She and Winston planned to go over to Umlazi in KwaZulu-Natal, her hometown, for the weekend to formally announce the news to her parents. Then there was all the planning to do. They wanted to get married in October on her birthday. Oops, poor lady. It was their joint birthday, and usually they spent it doing some girly, self-indulgent activities like going to a spa or spoiling themselves rotten by going shopping. She had forgotten to tell her about that. She would do something special with her before or after that date, if time allowed. Her mom told her that everything changes when a woman gets married, and she instantly picked up that her mom was referring to her friends. Why do our parents... Actually, no, I'm not even going to ask that question. Anyway, it is common knowledge that once a woman is married, her husband, and later the family they share, takes center stage. A marriage devoted to friends never lasts. This was not only exciting, but really quite frightening. But she was ready for it. All of it. When she had decided to change her ways 2 years ago, she knew that she had crossed the line and she never wanted to look back. Her varsity and early career days had been filled with wild debauchery. She could hardly recognize that girl anymore. She sighed and hoped that Winston would never find out about that part of her life. Gosh, he'd probably bolt out of the door immediately. The sound of a text message brought her out of her reverie. I'm at Brown's. Can't wait to see you, Mrs. Gumede. She smiled. We'll be there in a minute, my hubby, she replied. Sade dashed to her red Mini Cooper. She loved this little baby. She had just been promoted to accounts manager at the management consulting firm she worked for and had acquired this red hottie a month ago. You see, I told you, like, she's... describe the brands. I want Mini Cooper. I got Browns for her ring. I love Browns. But yeah, like, I like that. Current Angela. So yeah, Winston had helped her choose it. Oh, okay. Wilson had helped her choose it because she had been torn between the Mini and a baby Beamer. As she slid her tiny curvy frame into the car, she nodded. This was definitely the perfect choice. She and Winston had so much in common. It was crazy sometimes. They both enjoy the finer things in life. This was definitely going to be a marriage made in heaven. Soon they would be looking at real estate. She could just see herself on a beautiful equestrian estate with graceful horses and perfectly manicured lawns. Ah, the beauty of a joint income. After all, as Pastor Franks always said, God does not want you to be poor, my brothers and sisters. To that, Sade said another big resounding Amen. She and Winston understood the principle of tithing. If you want abundance in your own life, you must give to the Lord what is rightfully his. As she sped along the N1, Winston called. "Oh, baby, what's happening? You know I don't like being kept waiting, eh?" he said, sounding rather edgy. "I know, love. I'm going as fast as I can. Order yourself some passion fruit, and in no time, I'll be right there next to you," she said, a smile spreading over her lips. Okay, but make it quick, please," he said. She revved the car up to 180 kilometers an hour. Hey, one thing about a Mini Cooper is that when it goes, it really goes, she thought, though she still felt slightly under pressure. Oh, Brown's is a restaurant. I thought Brown's the diamond store. When she eventually pulled into the parking lot next to the upmarket Brown's restaurant, she glanced at herself in the mirror, put on her lipstick, and half ran in to meet her future husband. She did not want to do anything to spoil this evening, and she knew how impatient Winston could get sometimes. There he was, looking tall and confident even though he was sitting down. The way he looked at her sent her heart into a little flip-flop. No man had ever looked at her like that, not even when she was Miss Fresher at university. Winston's eyes carried a warm, fiery intensity. She smiled, feeling self-conscious as he eyed her from across the room. Hey, when she finally completed the dance to his table, she kissed him lightly on the cheek and sat next to him. Sade could not resist the urge to lean into his shoulder, to soak in his smell and feel the assurance of his masculine presence. "Oh, my baby, I hope I wasn't snapping at you," he said, taking her in his hand. "I just missed you. I wanted to see what you looked like with my ring on your finger." Ow! She looked into his eyes. "This is the closest I've felt to heaven, you know. Every time I look at this ring, I thank the Lord that he somehow managed to make our paths cross. I must be the luckiest girl in Joburg. Woman, baby, luckiest woman. I'm marrying a beautiful woman, not just any old girl," he said, with the same edginess he had in his voice earlier. Sade decided not to make too much of it. Very worrying. "I'm not feeling him." "Yeah, I remember actually. Yeah, Miss Weiner. I had a feeling it." Sometimes Winston could be quite serious. She'd noticed that he didn't really understand her ironic sense of humor, so she'd consciously cut down on her offbeat but well-meaning comments. See, she's already like, that's a red flag. "Why I get a..." "Sir, would you like to buy a red rose for the beautiful lady?" asked the bohemian-looking trader. She hated the tackiness of these hawkers. Being hassled to buy a flower for a woman just because she'd been leaning against a man had previously caused her, and whichever partner she'd been dining with, countless embarrassing incidents. Sometimes she would be on a first date with someone, and out of the blue, one of these itinerant merchants would appear with their flowers. The poor guy would be trapped in a veritable catch-22. She decided at the height of her cynical dating stage that a guy who bought a rose from these romance con artists was a definite no-no, or at best, nothing but a wet blanket. She drew in her breath in anticipation of Winston's response, confident that he would know her enough not to fall for such a ploy. Let me have one," he said, as he fished out a 10-rand note from his pocket, much to Sade's disappointment. let's read. I think we must actually co-read this book. A revisit. Nikki, let's revisit it, yes. And then Ms. Weiner will read it for the first time. I think let's revisit. Yeah, I think he is too good to be true. I think something happens, but someone does get married in the fall. If that's what I remember. Unless if I'm mixing it up with happiness as a four-letter word. I don't remember. But anyway, that is the 30th Candle. I loved the cover. I fell in love with the cover. I think we must all read it. We must set up a date. It's worth a revisit. I agree, Simule. Let's revisit it in July. Say I. You guys will do the I, and then we'll revisit it. And then yes. July. Love you. I loved the cover. I loved the shoes, and I was like, what is with the shoes though? But yeah, like it's like walk a mile in my shoes type of thing. Like we could even, yeah, we could do that. Go Twitter. Ooh, July, guys. Arriba July. So there's 4 eyes, 5 eyes. Ke nna ke Simole, ke Jane, ke Nikki. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Ms. Weiner, yes. So we're gonna co-read on the 1st of July, ne? Okay, yes. So yeah, that is my reading of The 30th Candle by Angela Makholwa. So we will co-read on the, okay. Yeah, so ke nna, ke Ms. Weiner, ke Nikki, ke Jane, ke Simule. And then, Bookaholic Queen, are you joining? Then Rebe 6. Then ra hashtag mo Twitter. Ka di 1 tsa July. Ere ke bon. Hey, go tlo go nna monate. We'll see. Yes, but July, we are. That's my book for July. I'm gonna put it here, ne? Hey, guys, cover thing. I don't know if you can see. I covered it up with contact. And then it saw the sun or something. Hey, anyway, na Bookaholic Queen. I gotta go fail. And then hashtag Amare, we are not reading Bomb Boy in July. Ha! Was it July? Oh. We'll read both. 2 books in 1 month. Hey, Simule, yeah. If Simule's got good memory, Simule only memory, so it is July. So we'll do a Bomb Boy in July. We'll do Bomb Boy in July, Bomb Boy and the 30th Candle. I already read 2 books. I think we can do it. Bonus at June. I'm so ambitious, guys. I'm so ambitious. This is the June stash. Ooh, guys, it's too much. Now I've decided to do reading dates. At reading dates, I actually do my reading dates at home daily now. I go to the garage. I open the garage, I sit at the back of my car and I read. And I take like biscuits and coffee and I read for like an hour and I switch off my phone. So can I lady home, hashtag home reading date with myself, because being in the house and homeschooling in the twins and I couldn't. So I decided to just go to the garage. Lampola, 30th Candle. Okay. I'll even make a poster shame. 30th Candle and Bomb Boy is the books that we're reading for July. So we have agreed. Guys, no, we've agreed. So yes, I'm gonna take out Bomb Boy July. It's only June, but now I'm already taking out Bomb Boy, 30th Candle, July 2020. That's what we're reading. Done. A reread and a new book. So I like the different colors. New, old, 2009. And when was this published? 2017, I think. Oh, no, 2011. So see, that's what we're reading. Amazing. It's done. That's what we're doing. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Loot must just deliver my copy of Bomboy. Oh, okay. Ish. That's a Loot, guys. Loot is problematic, eh? You know, Kamir, it's and I'm still waiting for my order. I gotta keep pre-ordering because I wanted a pre-order of a physical copy. Go Jakana, and then I should have bought the ebook and then get because the books have now been delivered. So I'm still waiting for Kamir. Yeah. They must deliver. Like, Loot is slow. It's king. Sure. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Monday. I think from Monday next week, I'm going to plan all the books that I'll read so that I don't have to just decide what am I, depending on how I feel like. So today I felt like having wine after this. So I was like, oh, what is the book that will go with wine? So I decided once I finish reading this, I'm going to go downstairs to my stemless glass of wine. Happy Friday, guys. Happy weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you, guys. Let me see. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.